morning to all the participants at all the nodal centers and at this center also. So the theme that today I have reserved for my session, my interaction with you is e-governance framework for technical educational institutions. So again, based on the things so far covered, so I would like to bridge in the gaps where they may be and add certain perspective to it. So what we will be covering, first we will be having a certain addition to the definition of e-governance that has already been provided by different experts from NILET and IBM. So we would like to add, I would like to add one more perspective that I thought that it may have it should not create confusion first. And second, then we will go through a formal presentation in which I had an expert from NIC based on their experiences, how they see it from a project angle to deliver a e-governance initiative. So what components they have raised. So we will have the what kind of titles they have kept if you have to go for planning a e-governance report or project report. Then third, we would like to see, there was a presentation by one of the principals of Government Women Polytechnic of Allahabad, in which he has wonderfully proposed how it can be implemented for integrating the state level polytechnic with the main director technical education, what plan he has proposed. So I thought it is a relevant one for the polytechnics who are connected with us. Maybe certain polytechnics are having it. So third, we will be having a quick glimpse into that. Then fourth, I would like to share with you certain documents that I will be mailing you also. But in those documents, these are the documents that I scroll down through different websites operative in the domain of e-governance. So what are the relevant kind of skills required? What e-governance competency framework government has envisaged, and how they implement the projects. So that will be that objective. And last, if the time permits, I would like to show you one of the payment fee module of Thapa University for myself. A quick glimpse into that. I will be opening my account and showing you how the fees is being submitted online. Now you need not go to the banks and all. So I will give you a glimpse of that, so that you may design that kind of initiative for your institutions also. So this will be the flow of our presentation. So with that, we start with e-governance framework for technical educational institutions session. So first one is, so far the definitions that have been covered has given this view of e-governance, that is, it can be defined as the civil and political conduct of the government, including service provisioning using information and communication technology. Or in other way, we can say the use of ICT and particularly the internet as a tool to achieve better government, or the use of information and communication technologies in all spheres of the delivery of services by the government to the people. But this is the one perspective of e-governance, because sometimes we take it as, since the word governance is there, so e-governance means only e-government, means delivery of services by the government to the citizens, or say government in the form of government to individual citizens, maybe in the form of online income tax return filing services, e-filing services, or maybe by the directorate technical education to the state polytechnics in the form of, for example, portals, or maybe by AICT to all the institutions. For example, AQIS scheme was there until 10th or 12th of January. You have to submit the proposals. Pan India, all the institutions were submitting proposals through that portal on the AICT. But it is not limited to that only. So when we consider for one perspective, say if I'm working as at a senior position, or I'm working with NIC, or if I am working in a central government department, for me that definition of e-governance will be, I will define e-governance in that perspective. But for example, if I am employed in a private organization, maybe IBM, or maybe Lovely Professional University, or maybe any other university, then for me the definition of e-governance will be from that perspective. It will be delivery of services by the organization to its intended internal and external stakeholders using ICT and other medias. So we have to take into consideration that also. So if you anybody works in the domain of research in the area of e-governance, so he may work on the single dimension, or he may work taking all the dimensions into account. So the from that perspective, the continuous optimization of service delivery, constituency participation, and governance by transforming internal and external relationships through technology, the internet, and new media. Nowadays people are using social media also. Yesterday I was seeing ABP News was sharing live on Facebook all their office structure. So the people were commenting, पहले वाला लोगो अच्छा था, कलर कॉम्बिनेशन अच्छा था, अब ऐसा है वैसा है. But why they are doing it? They are using the new media. I would term it to be as social media from a new perspective for creating branding their channel. So e-governance is the transformation of governance with the help of information and communication technologies. E-governance, however, is a technology-intensive activity requiring a high degree of specialized skills, including both domain knowledge and technical skills. So if any institution wish to go for a e-governance, there are two perspectives they can go for it. One is they do all the activities in-house. But if you do all the activities in-house, it means you need to have all those kind of people ready in your department, concerned department, that possess that skills to develop a effective e-governance initiative in your institutions. Or second mode be maybe you outsource it to a certain institution who is already doing it. Or third is you outsource it or you hire consultants, make your team mingle with those consultants, and then develop a solution. That's it. For example, NITO Chandigarh, these people are doing consultancy. Amarinder or computer science department developed a Android-based application for having STC participants apply online through their mobile phone. So we got a project from another CEC, Center for CCE or CEC, something center is there, continuing education or reforms is there. Some center is there, government department is there in Delhi, that they outsource their work to us. It is a government to government outsourcing, that you develop applications Android based for us. For example, when doing some certain social activities, I found a person who is doing Android based application development for the foreign clients. So there may be a chance, if I wish to develop my system, some system, then I may partner with him, paying him some honorarium or maybe returns in other forms, we can partner. So it will be the type of having consultation. Third, maybe I have all the departments inside. I have a very strong computer science department, say. I have strong management, senior level professionals who have a experience of analyzing the systems well. So we can have a team, different teams in our department, so we can do it ourselves also. So it will depend upon the organization to organization, at which kind of organization you are into and what are the competencies of that organization, and accordingly you have to go for designing a e-governance service in your initiative in your institution. So what should framework be about? A plan for development of e-governance, specifying among other things the vision, what is expected long-term vision of that e-governance project, then goals, what are the say you split it into the goals like mission, your paths, your achieving milestones, then concrete initiatives to achieve each goal. You have to have design certain actions are to be taken, then priorities, which thing is to be done first, which initiative may be integrated later on, then challenges, what may be the difficulties, and what will be the enabling policies for the e-governance agenda as a whole. You may have a very well planned system in place, but if you do not have a right policy to use it, then whole of the project fails. Let us consider an example of biometric attendance system. How many of us are satisfied with it? Yes. Why? What are the benefits to you? Accountability, one. In that sense. No excuses. Only accountability is there. Okay. What if? Okay, I will put it in other words. What is the benefit to the teacher of that biometric training? Nature change हो गया. Okay. Anybody else from any noodle center? I come to Government Polytechnic Jalna. Biometric attendance system. If we consider, what do you feel the intention should be or can be about biometric attendance system, and what change you have observed? Sure.
Sir, it is useful to us. We can maintain the attendance and all records related to staff, students, uh, using biometric system. And with the authentication and access to the biometric, it is very useful to access the different vehicles and different uh, resources.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Sir has highlighted the things very well, that in biometric attendance system, all the student staff attendance is online. Now the system has become more efficient. So that is this. So that is the outcome of that initiative. So what I would like to say, if we see conceptually, thank you. Okay, if we go into a small depth analysis of it. So when I was working with the DAV Institute of Engineering Technology, Jalandhar, so I got a one person as a colleague in one of the departments. So he said, he shared with me, he worked in Dubai. So there was an interaction going on. So he says, in Indian system, if a person is late by say half an hour or 1 hour, the immediate boss scolds him like anything. But what is the irony of our system is that 9 to 5 earlier, now it is changing. 9 to 5:30 is your office hours, and 9 to 5:30 you will get the gas cylinder. 9 to 5:30 you have to deposit the bills. Earlier scenario, if we go 10 years back. So he says, what happens over there if I am in Dubai? So if I am 9 to 11 is the timing. For example, if I am late, I have to drop my children at school. So I reach the office by 10 o'clock. So my system will automatically deduct the salary for 2 hours or deduct the leave accordingly. Leave or salary for 2 hours. It will not, my presence will not be considered. It is on me. If I got free at 10 o'clock, should I wish to, whether I wish to join or whether I wish to join at 11 o'clock. But it is expected that at 11 o'clock I join. So what happens? That in our scenario, what happens, we do not circulate the policies to all the stakeholders. We wish to have only one-sided view of system. So, because if we see what is the basic advantage of biometric attendance systems. For example, say a person is late for a 15 minutes a day. Next day also he is late. Third day he also is late. Fourth day he also is late. There may be two reasons of being late. One is it is his habit, or second, he may have to deal with a certain of his personal problem. It may be having a breakfast if he is coming from outstation, living in an outstation city, where it takes breakfast that opens at say 9 o'clock only. Food is ready. 15 minutes he take food. He will reach the organization by 9:20. But what happens? Every day he is late, but he is late because of this. Maybe he may be late because of this context. That's it. But what happens? Professor and head each time says he is every time late, and he gets angry, and he scolds that person, thrashes that person. But what will happen? The relationship of that junior and senior will start suffering. When junior may take it negatively. When the senior assigns any task, he may say, "मैं नहीं करूँगा, mental agony." That's it. So what happens over there? Basic concept behind biometric advantage of biometric attendance system is that to improve that relationship. For example, if you are late, boss need not ask and you need not share. It's automatically in the system. Policies to be there. For example, if 2 hours, for example, we have in NITTT at Chandigarh, 2 hours you have for a short leave in a month. So it is on you up to 2 hours, nobody will ask you. You may be 15 minutes late each day for 8 days, 16 days, 15 minutes, 2 hours chunk, 4 chunks in an hour, 8 chunks in a 2 hour. You may be half an hour late by 4 chunks, 1 hour late by 2 chunks, or 2 hours on a single day. But after 2 hours, if you from 2 to certain next hours, if you put with information intimation to your professor and head extra time in the evening, 3 times of the amount of time for which you are late. For example, if you are late by 15 minutes, 45 minutes you put in, so it is considered that you have covered. But to certain hours, if you are beyond those hours again late, then your half day casual leave will be deducted. Fourth level, if you are beyond those hours late, 400 something hours, then your 1 full day casual leave will be deducted. Then if you are late beyond all those things, then it is to be disciplinary action may be taken against you. So what happens? Normally these policies are not distributed, not sometimes not framed, sometimes framed, not shared with the stakeholders, each faculty members or each concerned polytechnics, or if it must have come to the polytechnics, it doesn't goes on to the faculty members. So what happens? Again, a scope of corruption is there in the form. The people who are residing in, they may come and mark the attendance and they may go out. What is the check on that? They may mark the attendance and then may go out of the institution. So if you do not convey, you do not have a policy in frame, or if the policy is there but not conveyed to all the stakeholders, it means again that system will not perform up to its expectation. It fails over there. So that's why what happens over there, when we see a certain country performing well in certain e-governance initiative, we immediately try to copy and replicate that model in the Indian scenario or in our scenario, respective scenario. But that is not the right solution for moving towards e-governance. Because, for example, there are different models of e-governance. One is you, for example, if I have to go for a ticketing, making reservation of my ticket through railway station. So one thing is that I stand on the window and clerk is assisting me. That is the first model. He will search through his network, that is the internet connected. He will search the server, which seat you from Jalandhar to Bhubaneswar you wish to go, which trains are available. You are getting in sleeper class, you are getting for this date. He helps us with the option, but in a limited span of time. He doesn't do all the things for us because he can't do. He's limited, but he helps us. That is the first model. People standing in a queue, and the person in the clerical window helping you to book a ticket. Another thing, his salary is driven out of that. When you book a ticket, certain charges there out of which those salaries are driven. Second model, kiosk based, means just they made in railway stations. You go, you can search, putting your PNR number, you just can search your reservation status. So what happens? What that initiative is, for example, one person is knowledgeable, he is doing it. Another person will come, brother मेरी टिकट भी देख दो, तो वो देखेगा, मे बी वो फिर खुद ट्राई करेगा अकेले में, जब उससे कहेगा मेरे को भी सिखा दो. Then third level of e-governance implementation comes. Third level is apex level, कि आप एक मशीन ऐसी लगा देंगे स्टेशन पे कि आपका पर्सन वहां पे टिकट खुद बुक कर पाए. ओपन कियोस्क, फॉर एग्जांपल boarding passes in airports. Now you can go and you can print your boarding passes on your own. You need not go to that assistance window and get their help to get a boarding pass. So that is the right way now we are going forward. So I would like to highlight here. Okay, strategic planning process, major steps. It includes assessing the e-governance readiness. E-governance readiness means it may be from different angles, from the point of view of acceptance, whether it will be accepted by the stakeholders if we come out with this kind of initiative. It may be in terms of the the kind of people we have, अगर हम घर पे खुद implement करना चाह रहे हैं तो क्या मेरे पास वो skill set वाले persons हैं, क्या मेरे उसके लिए जो जो मेरे को कंपोनेंट्स चाहिए, आईसीटी पेरिफेरल्स चाहिए, वो मेरे पास अवेलेबल है, इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी है, मिस वायबिलिटी, फिजिबिलिटी, ऐसे. सो देयर कैन बी डिफरेंट वेज. इट कैन बी थ्रू योर ऑडिट्स, your technology audits. It may be through surveys, perception surveys, or it may be some awareness program or session conducted first, then a feedback taken. Before we can take an employee survey before implementing a biometric attendance system. Then after explaining what will be the benefits to the system, how it will improve the performance, then we take a survey. But it is not done. That is the why it is a push factor only, कि push factor में आप एक system ले आओ and 4-5 साल तक वो system struggle करता रहता है अपने true potential में आने के लिए. That's it. Elaborating the vision and expected contribution. That's it. Formulate strategic goals as we have discussed. Determine required interventions and setting objectives. That's it. So here I would like to share one of the adoption models. So but when we talk of technology adoption, so there are different models. Different researchers have worked on these adoption models. So these have been used by different researchers span world in different contexts. Maybe in adoption of a X-ray machine. It may be in adoption of a e-filing return service. It may be to study the adoption of a biometric attendance system. Any technology adoption. So what happens is there when we talk of adoption, adoption can be considered at two levels. One is firm level adoption or organization level adoption. Second is your individual adoption of technology. Firm level, organization level adoption. Second is individual level adoption. Firm level means if I am representing an organization, or maybe a chief executive officer, or maybe a president, general secretary, or maybe a management, whether if new technology, somebody proposes me a technology, whether I am willing to adopt it or not, or what will be my decision. That will be a firm level adoption. Individual adoption may be firm has decided that we are going ahead with that technology, but whether the individual will adopt that or not. Or it may be direct technology implementation to the citizen. For example, e-filing service. One in certain organization, people say in government system, your income tax return filing will be done by your clerks only. So you do not have hands-on experience. But in another system, it may be you do it yourself. Every citizen who may not be into government service, but running his own enterprise, he takes the services of a CA, or he may do this on his own. That is an individual level adoption, whether he is going to adopt it or not. So when we talk of firm level adoption, there are several theories that can be used to study. One, I am sharing only one over here. There are 13, more than 10, 12 theories. Innovation diffusion theory. For example, it is one of the theories that can be used to study the firm level adoption. Second is, in case of individual level adoption, one of the very sound model, well-established model is technology acceptance model, TAM. TAM is there. So what happens over there? It is yours. It is going straight to the okay. Technology acceptance model, TAM. So I am going to discuss over here the TAM, individual level adoption model, since it is more important from our perspective, individual level perspective. So TAM says that there are different factors, PU, PEOU. It is proposed by Davis in 1985 or 86, then taken forward by Venkatesh, his research scholar, in the subsequent years. then attitude, then behavioral intention to use a particular technology, Tan says that perceived ease of PEO uses is perceived ease of use. PU is perceived usefulness. Attitude is another factor. Attitude towards a particular technology. Attitude of a person towards a attitude of a person towards a particular technology. Then behavioral intention to use. BIU is a closest approximation of whether a person will actually adopt or not. So PEOU says, perceived ease of use says, if you give a new technology to a person, what will be his point of view towards his easiness towards using that technology. For example, simplest example, we give a person of say 12 years a bike and a cycle. So his ease of use will be with cycle, but if we have placed bike for the first time, he may not find it easy to use. Another perspective is perceived usefulness. How much useful he or she consider it to be for its routine duties. For example, if he has to go to school, he may have in his own mind two parameters going on. One is ease of use is with cycle, but he feels like if I go on bike, it will be more useful. It will save me time. So I can spare 15 minutes and I can go for playing something or running or jogging or something other activity in the morning. So that is perceived usefulness. Perceived ease of use directly influences usefulness also, and attitude is influenced by ease of use directly also and perceived usefulness also. If I feel a particular technology is easy to use also and useful also for me, both things are there, then there are stronger chances that my attitude will be positive towards adoption of that technology. That's it. But still, there may be a chance, behavioral intention to use, say, based on that attitude, positive or negative feeling in my side, I will decide, agar given a chance to use both the technologies, whether I will actually use it or not. For example, I have a positive feeling I should use bike. Attitude means behavioral intention to use is अब दोनों दे दिया मेरे को. Amardev, you can drive both. Then अब मेरा behavioral intention क्या कहता है कि मैं उठा के ले जाऊं bike. But actual behavior may be another factor next to behavioral intention to use. You may have a very strong behavioral intention to use, but still you may not actually adopt that technology. Due to certain other external factors. One factor is, for example, regulation. I have a strong behavioral intention to use. I wish to go on bike, but regulation says you can't have at the age of 12, you can't have a driving license. You are not authorized to use vehicle on road. For example, if I consider nuclear technology, so a person may be having a ease of use, scientist, he may be having a usefulness, he may be having an attitude, behavioral intention to use, but it may be actually put to use or not, depending upon those factors. So it is being observed. This is I am talking of the model in developing to developed countries. In underdeveloped country, when a country is shifting from a underdeveloped to developing portion, where we were 10 years back, so they say that there was a proposition that ease of use is again influenced by two factors. One is computer anxiety and another is self-replicating in context of ICT technology. Means, for example, I am working, my father is say, or I am working as a clerk. So I am put before this laptop, and I have been given by my organization that now we are going to file all the income tax return online. You have to deduct TDS, and for all the employees you will do it. So how do I feel? First, self-efficacy. Do I feel फर्स्ट इज कंप्यूटर एंजाइटी। तो मेरे को उसको मेरे हेड ने ऑर्डर दिया तो मेरे को पसीना छूटना शुरू हो गया कि हाउ आई विल डू इट। मन में क्वेश्चन है, दोस्तों से बात कर रहा हूँ, यार ऐसा हो गया वैसा हो गया। सेल्फ एफिकेसी मींस मैं खुद को सोच रहा हूँ कि मैं कर सकता हूँ, कि दोस्त को बैठा के हाउ मच क्या क्या मेरे को इंडिविजुअली दिया जाए, कैन आई डू इट इंडिविजुअली, और डू आई सी इफ somebody is sitting beside me to guide me, I can do, maybe officially or maybe personally, a friend. Those two factors decide procedure ease of use. So when a country is in underdeveloped phase, so these factors also are to be taken into consideration. When you have moved to a developing country, you are into a developing mode or organization, then you may focus into ease of use, usefulness, attitude, and behavioral intention. But once you pass through, for example, in an organization, in an educational institution, you have passed through this phase. Next phase, next factor comes into adoption of particular technology is theory of planned behavior. Theory of planned behavior that says that this attitude or behavioral intention to use is influenced by two other factors, two more factors, that is perceived behavioral control and subjective norm. Perceived behavioral control and subjective norm. Perceived behavioral control means towards adoption of technology, that technology, who controls my behavior. Subjective norm means when I adopt that technology, what society will think about me, or people around me think about me. For example, I share an example. When I was doing my office work, what I found it to be, if we are connecting 10 nodal centers in an ICT-based program, bills come. So 10 nodal centers, 20 to 30 page documents, including all bills, when we used to reimburse everything. So I used to do photocopy. One for account settlement purposes, another for my record purposes. So 10 centers, 20 documents, 200 for one program. Suppose I conduct 4 programs in a year, ICT mode, 800 papers. That are waste only. 800 for my record, 800 for accounts is separate thing. Certificate issuance is separate thing. You are wasting ink in printing. We are wasting paper. What I did, I thought, why not I have a mobile through which I can store all these things electronically for my record purpose. So what I did, I reserved a price of 12,000. I should not go beyond 12,000. But what a mobile is available that satisfies the official use is ASUS model. That model comes that you can configure like Dell. You configure laptop, you can configure the configuration of your mobile also. But ASUS that costed, जो मैंने cost calculation किया तो वो मेरा 22,000 में बन रहा था. If I buy that mobile, configuring the configuration I need for official performance with a 6 inches screen, so 6 or 7 inch screen, so it cost me around 22,000. But it serves my purpose because tab is not usable. It doesn't come into a pocket. Mobile is its screen is shorter. It puts strains on the eye. But actually, that is required for official performance. That mobile is not in the market because we have to sell tabs also, and we have to sell mobiles also. So what happens? Certain companies are doing it, like OEMs, original equipment manufacturing companies, or neither. So what happened? But I thought that I will not spend 22. I should have a mobile for 13,000 only. So I got a K4 note, the Lenovo K4 note for 12,000 rupees. With that, promotional offer was last January was you will get a one virtual reality glasses. VR glasses. Now it is available in the market. Certain participants shared even their 5th class children studying in 5th class is asking, Mama, मेरे को वो लेके आके दो VR का. But what happens? What business will be affected the most, benefited the most? One is eye specialist. When they are on the glasses only, 3D movie, you can wear those glasses. On mobile, you play a video movie, and in 3D format, like a theater-like experience you have. That's it. Another thing, there may be from a socialist perspective, I am thinking. Another perspective is that we are busy in our offices. When you go back home, your children will say, Papa, Mama, you do not have time for us. Now we do not have time for us. You. Now we have to watch our serial or our movie. So isolation. But another thing to it, if I see to positive side of technology, that VR glasses can be or that stand for placing the mobile that they have designed. It may not be a VR, maybe a simple one, for which it can be useful. For which segment of society it can be more useful? Can you share? If I have to brand position that product, for which strata? When I narrow it down, it can be most suitable for travelers, frequent travelers. For example, marketing professionals, training and placement of professionals, who has to be continuous on visits, travel, and they do not find the time to update themselves regarding some product literature, regarding latest things. And maybe for teachers, we as a teachers are moving from our hometowns to another places, maybe 160 kilometers, 3.5 hours in a bus. And when we go to office, we are unable to teach well in the class because we do not have that updated our content. And we are into two divisions of mind. We should take care of family also, and we should have that. Then we can have a solution. Why don't you wear that glass and you have an educational video, EDX course, or your video in that class, and you sitting in a local bus or AC bus, and you are watching that video. You are updating yourself. Certain experiments, observation based, I have done it with it, but I would like to put it into the form of a paper, but it got the time. Okay, what I say over here, when you, it can be used as a, for that strata. So what happens over here? Whether the people will adopt that technology or not will depend upon those factors, perceived, behavioral, control and subjective now. कि एक यूपी की लोकल बस में एक पर्सन बैठा हो जो वीआर के ग्लासेस पहना हो और उसमें वीडियो देख रहा होगा, तो मेरा माइंड क्या सोच रहा है कि आसपास के लोग क्या सोचेंगे मेरे बारे में? ही इज अ मैड, ही इज अ इनसेन. और क्या उनकी इस थिंकिंग से मेरे बिहेवियर पे इंपैक्ट आ रहा है कि अगली बार से मैं शर्म से उसको पहनना बंद कर दिया? One thing is that. Another, subjective norm, whether society accepts it or not. Subjective norm is that society or what people will think of me. Perceived behavioral control, who controls my behavior? मिस अगर मैं उस टेक्नोलॉजी को अडॉप्ट करूं घर में, तो मैं किसका डिसीजन मानता हूं ज्यादा? पेरेंट्स का, फैमिली, कोलीग्स, फ्रेंड्स, ऑफिस इन्वायरमेंट. सो दैट आल्सो प्लेज अ रोल कि अगर मैं उसको मैं यूज करना चाहता हूं, बट मैं पेरेंट्स का कहना मानता हूं, माय पेरेंट्स से यू डू नॉट हैव टू यूज दिस टेक्नोलॉजी, इट इज नॉट गुड. So do I stop using it based on their decision? There is two factors play a role. But once you enter into advanced level, you will not mind using that. You will not mind people sitting waiting for somebody and having a VR glass and doing maybe using watching an educational video on that device stand. So that is just one perspective to it. So in case of these theories can be used in case of studying the e-governance adoption also. And standardized questionnaires are available if you review the literature. And if you wish to go for designing an e-governance initiative in your college, institution, individual, or at a bigger level, you can involve or have surveys based on these studies. And they will provide you a good startup or good layout for having a fruitful e-governance initiative in your organization. Okay. How is it helpful? A fully web-based student facilitation framework means if directorate is designing it for the colleges or by the university, if university is designing it for their affiliated colleges or stakeholders, it has two benefits: to meet the growing aspirations of the students at low cost, with high quality, with high speed, with widest accessibility, with mass personalization. Second, can seamlessly integrate with other frameworks like college directorate departments so as to offer easy electronic exchange of data and information among them in the form of digital objects. So examples are there: centralized admission tests are being conducted, online exams are being conducted, result preparation, declaration, transmission is there, online admissions are there, award and scholarships are there, networked libraries are there. Okay, now this is from a point of view of a NIC person, scientist from a NIC who delivered our session during one of the sessions. I acknowledge his contribution. They see e-governance project requirement from a vertical prototype approach. They say you just build a simple domain model, have 2 or 3 functional subdomains under it, one or more cross-sectional aspects that are linking the both, then build an integration mechanism, select service point functions and composition of service points. So we will discuss it. The technology requirements, they have specified it to be UML for the domain model, Java for development, technology suggestion, Eclipse or plugins. If you wish to go for an in-house development. What I am saying over here is an example. What are the kind of thing e-governance application project components it may have? First one is application. They have taken an example to be emergency tracking and maintenance portal. So in your case, it can be online submission of fees by the students. It can be online monitoring of the assignments, submission of assignments by the students, or it may be evaluation, online evaluation and declaration of result. The domain, it is e-governance. It may have other domain also, accounts, e-governance and accounts, subdomains, e-governance accounts, and a cross section of e-governance, your accounts with e-governance and with other departments. For example, a list of students may be needed at 3 levels. One, a class teacher needs that list of students for marking the attendance. Another, a training and placement officer department may need a list of students for getting how many students have been placed, how many are billing. And at the same time, accounts people may require that list of students for maintaining for which student we have received the fees, for which it is pending, for which fine to be levied. That's it. So what happens in isolation? If you are working in isolation, one list will be prepared by at one level, teacher. Then another list will be prepared by training placement. Another list is prepared by accounts, and they are maintained separately in isolation. कि ये मैंने उसको नहीं देनी. अगर एक स्टूडेंट का नाम कट गया, क्लास में से छोड़ के चला गया, फीस भर रहा है, बट एग्जाम पंजाब पुलिस में कहीं पे हो गया है, तो एकेडमिक सेल को पता ही नहीं होता है. Sometimes it happens, and प्लेसमेंट वाले को नहीं पता होता कि ये बच्चा ऑलरेडी प्लेस है, इसे हमने प्लेसमेंट नहीं देनी. So in all these systems, integration is very important. Do you have a committee? I mean, discussing one aspect because it is not a whiteboard class. Otherwise, I would have highlighted all the things, how you have to go for planning. So in one aspect, one data, I would take it as a data, student data is relevant for 4 or 5 different departments or activities, maybe several activities in under 4 or 5 departments. Do you have some kind of policy that a committee is there, that this data is formed at one central level, and through that it is passed on to all? If any change is there, it is done at that level, physical in a meeting, then done in the form of a Excel and shared with all the stakeholders through intranet or simple Google form. So it will save your efficiency, energy, and remove the confusion. So you here motives. What are the motives for this project that they have proposed? Useful product in an emerging domain, that is emergency tracking in case of disaster. Feasibility prototype. You have to come out with a prototype. Then identification of service integration issues. How to integrate those things with the system. Then objective. What is the objective of that project? They have envisaged it to be to build a single window services portal for emergency tracking and management. एक पोर्टल पे जाएं, वहां से सारी चीजें इनको मिल जाए. फॉर एग्जांपल स्टूडेंट कियोस्क, स्टूडेंट रिलेटेड जितने काम है, अलुमनाई मीट को रजिस्टर करना है, फीस सबमिशन करना है, अपना रिजल्ट डिक्लेरेशन, वो आपका एक ही पोर्टल पे जाएं आपके स्टूडेंट, तो वहीं से उनको मिल जाए. फीचर्स, it will have a service portal. Another feature will be single window for a set of services. Maybe you may have another portal for another set of services. Composition of service elements into a service. What actually operations a student can perform using those services. Then application domain description. Let's say emergencies, for example, they have taken it to be what will be the application of where these portal is may be useful. First one, they have taken it to be natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, then epidemics like cholera. Let's say accidents, railway, flight crashes, social volatility, terrorist attack, or communal violence. Means these kind of things they wish to embed in their project. It should be able to provide information on these status on these domains across these utility domains. Okay, primary services, tracking and management of emergencies. First one is tracking. In case of your speed post, what we do, we track. For example, government women polytechnics in 2 years back, they sent me a document, and it was felt like it has been sent into sector 19. So they gave me a tracking number. I went to the post office. I was able to identify in which post office it is lying, and physically I was able to collect it. Tracking and management. Let's say services users, citizens, businesses, and non-profits, government agencies. Or in case of your educational institutions, it will be teachers, students, and your corporates who are hiring prospective employers. It may be parents of the student who wish to get their results for this student, or who wish to control the online deposition of fees of their students. What's okay? Service providers. It may be government agencies, but in case of your institution, it may be private university or institution also. Requirements. They have proposed it to be a 3-layered approach, web-enabled portal. They wish to have a status tracking facility, resource mobilization from different resources. Okay. Then required technologies. They have proposed that we would be using Java-based web tier and backend. Recommended technologies, IBM WebSphere development environment or Eclipse. They have proposed, NIC has proposed for this e-governance project. Let's say. So now this portion is from an attempt from our side to put it into from an educational perspective, what it can be. Pushing information over the internet. It can be administrative orders, journal circulars, your academic calendars, notifications for admissions, two-way communication between the agency and the administration, between the management and the top management. It may be private also. In case of it may be government, it is a directorate. That's it. It may be an instructional delivering system. That's it. कहीं से आपको orders आते हैं. For example, Baba Farid group of institutions, they have designed a e-approval system. For example, if I have to conduct a training program, what I have to do, I have to first frame a tentative time schedule. I have to frame a budget, attach a time schedule with a budget. That budget I have to go to the director office, or I have to send my PN. First it has to be approved by head of department, then head of department, after that director. Then after director approves, then I have to write a letter for a impressed if it is an outstation program. Then it will go to accounts. Accounts again will, if it is beyond 20,000, will again send the document to director. Director will again approve. Then it will come back to accounts. Accounts will put it entries into all the registers. Then it will be signed by accountant, accounts officer. Then it will go to cash window. Then cash window will make a check in my name. Then I as a teacher will go to the bank and cash, get that check in cash. Then I will have that money and will be there in the certain outstation institution to conduct a program. But since it is feasible in NITR Chandigarh because it is a smaller institution, I have to within 20 meters I can go from one department to another. But let us consider a lovely professional university or other institution where the campus is 650 acres. One department is away from the another department 1 kilometer or half a kilometer. Two rounds in a day will make you like. So what happens? Baba Farid group, what they have come up with the initiative is e-approval system. I put my request, so it is visible to only to first level HOD. HOD, if he approves online, then it is visible to the director. Director approves according to the domain. If it is required, director approval is only needed. It will come. Printout I can take from that login. I can take printout. Otherwise, if top management involvement is there, it will be seen to vice chancellor or something else. Simple e-approval system, reduce paper uses, reduce the number of people have to get the orders, improve the efficiency. That's it. Okay, conducting transactions such as online filling of forms, applying for services, applying for financial grants, collection, just as we have explained AICT, and proposal and DST, others also, collection of revenue out of fees, etc. ये fee collection वाला तो मैं आपको एक demo दिखाई दूंगा of Thapa University. Governance, online feedback systems, centralized systems of checking and monitoring, staff attendance and student attendance and others, fund utilization. It can be for your purchasing also. For purchase department, you can have e-governance, payment of bills, projects, maybe construction or academia, utilization of budget. For example, a wonderful initiative of e-governance, another initiative can be in procurement. When I was preparing a project during my MBA, so what we found, it is available, free source are available. What happens if you have to buy a stationery items in our institutions? Normally what happens, in buying a stationery item, we will have a requisition register. Each department will give a requisition. It will go to a central administrative officer. Then he will place the order, or otherwise he will invite the tender. Then opening of tender, passing of orders, then again and again, so forth. But in case of certain things, certain institutions, using a software service, an internet kiosk will be available with you. And thus, you, for example, in EDIC department, it will be visible to Amardev Singh how much it will be. It can be a catalog, pencils, pen, highlighter, sticky notes, gum bottle, quantity you enter. You press verified by head, automatically order goes to supplier. Supplier sees, consolidate it, and supplies to you, and bill is raised. It is a simple initiative. It can be done. Okay. Tools required for e-governance, these may be computer-based tools. That's it. Information and communication technology-based tools. For example, for biometric attendance, you will be needing biometric scanners. For maybe, for example, in passport seva, how a verification is done nowadays in passports. When you have a passport meeting, you apply for a passport. After that, passport comes at your home within 1 week. I was surprised. Within 4 days, passport of my wife was there after the interview in our home. And within from date of interview, within 11 days, 7 days this year or 11 days, the inquiry will come. When the person came for inquiry, not only the police official, only 100 rupees or 150 or 200 rupees official fee you have to pay. And there was a one person accompanying that police official, carrying a tab and a software. On real-time basis, he has to click the photograph of the passport applicant who has got the passport with that police official, one at the front of the house of your gate, and all details are to be entered online. And he has to sign also. To remove the corruption, to remove कि वो passport गायब ना हो. How much I was surprised and very much happy that these kind of things are happening. And that official shared with me. He said कि ये इन्होंने मेरे को बांध दिया, नहीं तो मैं आपको बताता. Because during 11 days he didn't came. I was calling them कि आप 11 days में पहुंचो ताकि हमने अपना वेकेशंस को प्लान करना है फैमिली के साथ. तो जब हम यहाँ पे चंडीगढ़ आ गया फैमिली को लेके, तब कहते हैं कि आपको वापस आना जलंधर वेरिफिकेशन के लिए, फिजिकल के लिए. But we could have gone for complaint also, but it was resolved mutually. But it is there. Now it is under our control, under the control of the citizen, the timely delivery of the services. Yes, yes. Then camcorders, multimedia technologies are there. Camcorders, vision mixture, projectors are useful in recording learning material development. Just we are using in our studios, recording different videos for sessions. Okay, this is, I have put it as proposed. It may be different according to the different institutions, different states, different organizations requirements. So वो details में कल हम Amarjeet has discussed all the things. So just what UP has proposed, that Principal Polytechnic Allahabad, what he proposed was a state-wide area network required to be deployed in 2 components, one horizontal, another vertical. Horizontal component, the government polytechnic in each tier are to be connected to respective point of presences, they say. each polytechnic, horizontal means peer to peer. They should be connected to a headquarter, main headquarter, and zonal headquarter. So they have a state. He proposes for vertical component of SMAN. They say that it should be state headquarter connected to the zonal headquarter, which in turn is connected to each polytechnic headquarter. Then each SHQ, state headquarters, zonal and polytechnic headquarters, together its connection is called as, they term it as point of presence, which is a point of bandwidth aggregation for several network links getting connected at this point. And for that, they say that at point of presence, we should have a minimum speed of 2 Mbps. Between station headquarter and zonal headquarter, we may have 2 Mb. We should have 2 Mbps. But between a zonal headquarter and polytechnic headquarter, it may be lesser also. It will serve the purpose for routine operations. 0.512 Mbps. So SWAN aims to create, ये उनका है कि डायरेक्टरेट्स को लिंक करना है, जोनल ऑफिसेस को लिंक करना है, आपका IRDT बोर्ड ऑफ टेक्निकल एजुकेशन को लिंक करना है, इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर रिसर्च डेवलपमेंट एंड ट्रेनिंग को लिंक करना है. What type of activities they wish to get it covered under it? Data, voice and video connectivity to more than 175 government polytechnics. Okay, what they expect: efficient information delivery mechanism, optimized performance that we have discussed along with the presentation, reliable vertical and horizontal connectivity within the administration, facilitate the electronic transactions between all polytechnics and allied offices, departments. And for third-party audit, they would like to have for desired quality of service by the network operator and the bandwidth service provider. The state would enter with the network operator and also with the bandwidth service provider within stipulated time. Like we have here in NITO Chandigarh, we have with BSNL. That's it. Okay. SWAN implementation model, they have proposed two ways. It can be two ways. One is public-private partnership. You, as a government, enters into an agreement with IBM or certain other company to offer you that solution. Another is NIC model. They say you route through government system, National Informatics Centers. They will do it for our system. So in the same way, private colleges or universities may go for PPP model or in-house model or consultation model. Okay, envisaged impact, what they say: enhanced quality of diploma engineers compared to other states of India. They wish that we should be better in terms of connectivity or offering these e-governance services than other states of India. But I say we should be equitable. We should have a quality circle implementation. Practices being implemented at one level should be shared with the other level. Efficient administration, cost reduction and time saving, consumer empowerment, transparency in functioning, achieving the goals of NME, National Mission on Education, marching at a faster pace on roadmap of India becoming a knowledge superpower by 2020. That's it. Okay, these were the references for this presentation. Along with, I have acknowledged the presentation by Shri K.N. Gupta ji also, who is Principal Government Girls Polytechnic, Allahabad, Department of UP, Technical Education, UP India, on e-governance application in Technical Education Department of UP Government, along with acknowledgement to NIC people, along with acknowledgement to myself also for my examples. And this was about the presentation. Now, here, establishing an effective e-governance system in an educational institution, a generalized work plan would be: you need to have a first top management commitment, whether you wish to go for it or not, then a core committee formulation, then creating the awareness and environment for change, then you have to plan for it, then work for its development and implementation, then followed by maintenance and continuous improvement, followed by integration of the system with the central systems. So now what I will do, I will just share with you the Thapar portal and what one feedback I will be giving to my university. What problem from user perspective may arise. So that is visible, how a stakeholder may be into a problem and how to solve that problem. Otherwise, that e-governance initiative will not deliver up to its intended outcome. So when we go to the website, Mona, it is being shared. When I go to the website of thapar.edu, they have a web kiosk. This is a web kiosk. So in web kiosk, they have given two displays. One is web kiosk internet, another is web kiosk intranet. If you are within the campus, you go for a internet, and if you are outside the campus, you go for a within the campus you go for an internet, and outside the campus you go for an internet. But when you are within the campus, you have certain more rights. When you are outside the campus, you have a rights are reserved. So it is they have in kiosk authentication screen. What they have kept it to be, login to be member type, whether you are a parent student. Outside, I am outside the campus, so member parent or student is visible to us. Enrollment number, password. From when I am in internet mode, when I am accessing the website outside the campus, they will not allow me to change the password. It will be what is reserved. Now is opening. It must be this server is slow, huh? It is opening up. So it we are into it. So it says, welcome Amardev. Message alert. Last refresh date time 19 January 11/7:41 a.m. So we have different. For example, you can pay fee by the following means: online payment through Paytm. Pay your all academic hostel fees online with no extra charges at Paytm. That's it. Use your ATM debit card, credit cards, Hana. Pay the full fee amount on Paytm using net banking, given all the details, steps. You have to visit Paytm, select Thapa, select campus location, whether it is at Patiala or Deravasi, select academic fees, whether it is academic or hostel, enter your enrollment number and click on proceed, verify your details and enter the total amount. Click on the proceed to pay via net banking, debit card, credit card at no extra charges. Use promo code Hana Thapar 50 to get a ₹50 cashback in your Paytm wallet for minimum transaction of ₹20,000 or more. Online payment through PayU other mode. Available in fee details, pay fee online. Available modes are credit card. For example, it is available in this kiosk only. I will show you. So available modes are credit card, debit card, net banking. There will be no extra charge. There will be extra charge for paying free online. You can check the payment charges on pay fee online page under click to view online. Transaction charge detail link. Complete the transaction. Account section would automatically verify and approve your fee deposits details. You should be able to see your fee receipt link under the fee details after 7 working days. That's it. So all the methodologies they have listed it over here. So what happened over here is, if I have to see my personal information, so it is personal information is there. Personal information, Amardev Singh, enrollment number 191013009, father's name, program name, and other things I can edit and add. Always. That's it. Then SRS, what they do for the feedback of the teachers. But SRS, they have embedded that portal over here. SRS will go through this kiosk, but no, I can't fill the SRS from outside, because they have realized that one student may fill it for all. So they have fixed at the end of the semester certain slots, certain days reserved for getting the feedback. They will take you to a classroom, and based on each student have to fill the SRS in front of a person who is on duty in invigilation. So one student fills it's his or her SRS for each teacher of his management who taught him subject. Then he comes out. That is considered. Fee, pay slip for the bank. If you wish to pay for outstation, registration fee information. For example, how much fee I have paid. So all detail is there. For example, I have paid for rupees 3,500 for admission, 1,700 for different components are there. So all the detail is there. They have received my fee so far. This is from 5th to 11th semester, 1,44,500. My parents, I can view. That's it. Then fee pay confirmation. You can have a confirmation also, whether it has been transferred online or not. Then fee receipt. For example, I wish to see my fee receipt for this fee pay. This is 30th semester, 30th. Let us consider. So it is tuition fee rupees 17,000, development fee rupees 3,500. So if I click over here, it will generate a receipt over here. That name Amardev Singh, roll number, Doctor of Philosophy, bank account number, receipt number. This is receipt number, date of issue, fee paid, 21 July, receipt generation, 21 July 2016, issued, tied, received with thanks a sum of rupees so and so from Amardev Singh, son of so and so, by DD number, dated, drawn on. It is there. No check DD subject to realization. Okay, what they mean to say earlier, what was the procedure? First, I have to go to the Thapa University, take a leave from where I am working, go to the university. From their university, I have to be in a queue because they have reserved for BTech, MTech, and that. In a queue, then I have to, after paying the fee, I have to show the fee slip to my department. Then I have to fill the registration subjects for which I wish to register for this semester. Then I go with this fee receipt and register. First, I have to take the First, we have to submit the fee, get a copy of the university copy of the challan. Then, taking university copy, you have to go to the finance department, submit that challan that I have deposited the fees. Then they will submit you this receipt, give you this receipt. Taking this receipt, I have to go to my Thapa School of Management. That I have paid the fee. This is a receipt. Now, then they will register me for the subjects. Then those subjects are registered has to be signed by me, my teachers, head of the department. Then it has to go to Dean Academics. After that, it will be approved that you are eligible to appear for the final examination for this subject. So it used to take a week's time to complete all the activities, but it was well than other university in comparison to other university. Otherwise, it must be a 1 month procedure and multiple visits. But now what they have done, you need not go anywhere. Once you choose the subjects, you can choose subject registered over here. For which subjects you are registered, you can make your choice over here on this portal only. Sitting anywhere, you can submit the fees using online. You will have a receipt. But there is a small catch in that. Small thing that they have not been able to cover. That should go as a feedback from my side. For example, my fee for current semester was due to 6th January. 6th January to 20th January, they have given a window that from 6th January to 20th January, you can pay a late fee of 1,000 rupees and you can register on your own. But after 1,000 rupees, when you have paid those 1,000 rupees, if you do not pay fee during the 6th to 20th January, after that, you have to come in physical and take approval from Dean Research. If he approves for acceptance of your fee with late fee, then you will be able to deposit. You will be considered registered for that semester. But what happened? I passed 6th January because of my financial calculations. It was not there. Now, when I choose to submit my fee online, so I was popped up to pay the fee of 20,500 only. There was no option available through which I can debit my 1,000 also in this account. it should be 21,500, but it is showing me that I can deposit only 20,500. But if I use IDBI separate mechanism from them, another bank, whatever mechanism they have, one private bank more, so it will show two accounts, one that, one State Bank of India. So either it is my ignorance that I have to ask them on telephone if I deposit that 1,000 rupee using Paytm or other means, not State Bank, because State Bank you do not have direct NEFT or RTGS enabled. So if I pay in another for which you have enabled RTGS or NEFT, so would it will automatically count towards my this fee? And how would you know whether it is a late fee or some other part? कि ये 1,000 रुपये तो नहीं जमा करवाया. But what tactical solution I have designed, maybe because of this ignorance, that I will go to a State Bank Patiala branch over here in physical and deposit 1,000 rupee with the subject line that late fee. So it will go into the same account of State Bank also and university also. And after that, when I have to see my registration fee information, so it will display over here. It was there, semester wise was there, 1,000 was there as advance fee somewhere. Online fee paid doesn't exist. Okay, and this will show after it is cleared. Okay, fee pay online. It was somewhere over there. It was there. Their table used to come. I'm not going to take more time on it. Table used to come. During that table, it will display you what is your routine fee, and late fee they will take it as advance fee. It will be indicator that for 7th semester, seeing that it was late and it was charged for that. That's it. So this is how one of the portal of one of the university, how they are using it. Now immediately we come to the certain documents. So first we come to the document of activities. First document is relevant page number is 20. So here it is there in this document, e-governance competency framework. So it says that the capacity building scheme was approved by the Government of India on 10th January 2008 to bridge capacity gaps in the state governments for implementation of e-governance projects. State e-governance mission teams, SEMTs, have been set up to provide professional support to the states in program management and monitoring of national e-governance plan. So objective of e-governance competency framework: strengthen the capacity building or by identifying and defining competencies required for different roles under e-governance projects. So they have come up with different roles and skills. That's it. They have a wonderful chart over there. And then e-governance competency framework is being published in an implementation toolkit that provides easy to follow steps about how to structure an e-governance team and how to conduct fact-based training need analysis of your competency benchmarking. So that's it. So I'm not going to read all. E-governance competency framework, they have identified 19 provisional e-governance job roles. There are 19 job roles. If you that should be there to implement any e-governance project successfully, which are classified into 3 broad categories: administrative, managerial, and technical roles. 13 roles are administrative, 13 are managerial, 13 are technical. So Department of Training has helped the concerned ministry to develop these competencies, administrative roles. So we will come immediately. So we come to the page number 48. So from page number 48, you will have all the attached offices and autonomous organizations. attached to the NEGP for successful implementation of e-governance in the country. And these are the organizations from which you can sought help. If you have these organizations in your area, you can involve those persons as members for providing you inputs. That's it. So one is NIC, National Informatics Centers. Initiatives they have launched. Then you have EDSoft, not ED, CDEC, Center for Development of Advanced Computing. And you have NIC, National Informatics Center Services Incorporation is also there for assisting in you in designing services. NILIT is there. We are already involving the NILIT people over here, National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology. Then Media Asia Labs, private organizations are there. And NIXI, National Internet Exchange of India is another body. And FTQC, directorates are there under the control of Department of Electronics and Information Technology, Standardized Testing and Quality Certification Directorate. CARNET, India is there. Software Technology Parks of India are also there. So you can have all the organizations associated with it through this document. So it is only a hand holding. For example, how you can tie up, for example, if you are planning it for your college, so what you can do, you can have a meeting, stakeholder workshop, just as we conduct workshop for designing our operation plan. So conduct a workshop, invite 3 or 4 people from over there, have an agenda based on that I have shared you in PPT कि हम ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट करना चाह रहे हैं, ये सर्विस लेवल हम ऐसा चाह रहे हैं, आप हमें गाइड करें how in step wise manner we should proceed. So automatically they will start guiding. For example, I talked to the another person. I requested joint director Manish ji that can you provide me some expert in business process re-engineering. So he talked to another his colleague in Delhi. So in the morning he reverted me that our director has agreed, but you just drop an email on her ID for deputing me. So I did it. So tomorrow he will be with us morning 9:30. So this is two-way. And some personal relationship is also there, and that will develop 1 or twice. The people you interact with, the people, they will be ready to help you. That's it. Okay, Digital India. So here the relevant page is 56. So here, so what happens in this document? They have on page number relevant page number 56. What e-governance in India is at present, when what it is expected, what government is expecting it to be in the next. So we would not going into detail of it because it will take another 2 sessions on it. So I will mail you all these documents, and I have to mail my previous documents also to certain for the previous program to certain centers. So that is pending on my part because there was not complete course material sent by expert to me. That's why I didn't send it, but I will definitely send that also and this also. So mission mode projects, they have named PPT is available, Mona? Okay. So they in this document 56 onwards, they have all mission mode projects also they have listed. So you can have examples also from them. Projects are there. Then in document 3, the relevant page number is your page number 27. So here there is an introduction to National E-Governance Division and backgrounder of E-Governance competency framework. What the skills and competent domain roles we were job roles 19 job roles we were talking about. So what they have done is they have converted e-governance competency framework development methodology. How they have developed it? First, they said that we had a face-to-face consultation with a wide range of stakeholders. Then we have leveraged international best practices, standards and methods and frameworks. Then we had a focused consultations by leveraging training and chief information officer leadership meets and steps, science and technology entrepreneurs. Then we have an online jam, means survey to get inputs from a large cross section of stakeholders. Then we have validated through this mechanism, they have validated each role. So they have given a e-governance competency framework development methodology also, how they have done it. And it is a very robust one. If you go through it, it is a robust one. You need not refer any other document. You just need to adapt it according to your environment. They have categories of statement issues people are facing in context of online initiatives. So training needs, analysis and assessment. They say 78% of the respondents feel that we need training, need analysis and assessments. I say team structure, roles and responsibilities, core versus non-core, strategic control. 68% people it is required. Critical competency gap 43%. What is expected of me? I am unable to perform. That is 43%. End user readiness to use computer, basic office tools and applications, it is 33%. Given the scenario, I am not ready to use. So they have done it. SEMT training. So all factors are listed over here. One thing, this chart. What they have done is they have mapped each e-governance job role with the e-governance life cycle. So in life cycle, there are different phases, starting with e-governance strategy development, then current state of, okay, sure. I use over here. It is visible to them, PPT. Okay. It is a, okay. First one is e-governance strategy development. Then second phase is current state assessment. Then future state definition. That's it. And future state definition, from where you will get that document. Another document I have shared. How India is planning. India now, India next. What your organization now, what your organization next. Implementation approach and sourcing. Then develop and implement system. Then operate and sustain. So it says leader role. Leader role will start these different bars. Show leader role will start from e-governance strategy development and it will last till operate and sustain. Then chief information officer, program manager role management role will start from starting to end. Chief technology officer role will start from starting till end. But project management role, it will start with current state assessment and it will go to somewhat between operations, till operations. It will be into current state assessment, future implementation, development, and assessment. Last, your operation also. Information security management role will start with future state assessment to implementation and sourcing, developing and implementation, then operate and sustain. And information security role will be till sustenance also. At the end of the, once the project is delivered, even then it has to be there. Then information security management role is there. Then after that, citizen engagement management role. How you have to engage citizen. But I feel so it should also be in the end. For example, I will be a stakeholder and I will be providing a feedback to Thapa for improvement. So it should be till the end, not here only. Project support coordination role. So all the roles are knowledge management, content management, all roles are mentioned in this document. And in the same way, they have matched the competencies also. Welcome. Competencies also with the e-governance life cycle. For example, for e-governance strategy development, it will benefit the management, portfolio management, organizational design. So what kind of competencies it have been mapped to each phase of life cycle also. It is also available over there. I'm cutting it short. Now, next relevant document is page 4 and page number relevant page number is 4. Okay, so here how it started. First, they formed a Government of India formed a committee. That committee proposed a report. First one, we need these kind of people. Once it was passed in the first year, then next year after 11 or 12 months, then e-governance competency framework came into being. And after that, actual development started. So it is not a overnight procedure. You can say that we wish to plan, and once you started, within 6 months or 10 months, you will do it. It may have different phases, and it may span over years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, if you wish to do it on your own. So another 2 documents are there. Here shows all the initiatives by the government. For example, e-Kranti framework, policy on adoption of open source software for Government of India. So this document gives you all policy documents. For example, if for your initiative, if you wish to have a policy, what should be the components and what should be under each component, you have to description. You have to give this format in 212-page document. You will get all the formats. Based on these formats, you can design your own policies. And in the same way, e-Praman, a framework for e-authentication. This one good document, project level document, how you have to format the requirements and project details. So this format, I found it to be very useful. So I thought if you are going to implement it for your institutions, it will be useful for you. So this was the e-Praman framework document. So I will be emailing you all of these, and you can use it in your cases. Okay, thank you very much. We break here with our session. Any questions from any Noodle Center? So first we move to just a minute. First we move to Government Polytechnic Jalna, Maharashtra. Any questions from your side? Government Polytechnic Jalna, Maharashtra. Okay, now we go to Government Women Polytechnic Jaipur. Any questions from your side?
Good morning, sir. The session was very informative and very nice, sir. I just want to know one thing, sir. We have seen all the positive aspects of the e-governance. Do you find any negative aspects of this side also, sir?
Negatives are always there. They are always there. Once it is mute. Okay. Just as I have highlighted in biometric attendance system is that if you do not take your stakeholders into account, you do not convey what benefits they realize of that system. In case they wish to perform their other duties towards their family and society. So if it is only a technology-based activity, you take it as a controlling mechanism for controlling the human behavior. So what it will generate into dissatisfaction. Means there may be a very good organizations, but if you start treating people as technology only or as a products only, so there will be dissatisfaction, and the intended benefit out of these e-governance initiative will not be there. It will instead of serving the purpose, it may decrease or make your organization less effective or efficient. So one thing.
If you go for being a professional, do you think it will be a good for us?
It is for sure. So how? For example, just Amarji didn't allow me yesterday to share IBM. For example, I have to engage a session over here, and he has to come from Kharad, and so it was around say 25 kilometers from here. But during a session, I can't receive a call. But I didn't do it with our today's expert. So what he suggested me, you give me a Google map location. You just message me a map location, and he automatically set it his GPS, and he tracking it, he reached to this institution. So when I say you as a professional, it will save your time. It will allow you to perform several activities simultaneously.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Using the same 24 hours. And using the same 8 hours of your working schedule. That's it. Thank you very much.